Hello, this is Steve from Beaute's Leatherworks. Today's project is this to Beaute, New York. I don't know, with casual shoes. I mean, most of these are really worth restoring, repairing, because they're so inexpensive. But this particular one, the customer wants to get them done. It's a basic job. You remove the sole, you put another one on, you stitch the edges, you know, clean condition the uppers, and you're done. Now, there is a machine that, sewing machine, basically, that stitches the side walls right here. But unfortunately, we don't have one of those. They run about $4,500. And if you were doing this type of work all the time, it's worth getting it. But in this case, we do maybe 1 or 2 pairs a year, maybe. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically hand stitch it all the way around. Now the sole we're going to put on, this is the Svig, S-V-I-G, casual cup sole. Now the trick with this is that it's got to be exactly the same size as what you have, because you don't want any gaps in the back of the heels or the toes. If it's too long or if it's too short, it's not going to fit. So in this particular pair, I ordered a few sizes of the soles, and once I remove this, I get a better idea how well it fits. And I think that once it gets done, I think it'll look pretty cool. All right, let's get started. It's going to be a short video today. I mean, there's not really much to this job. Remove the sole, glue another one, and stitch it on, and you are finished. So it'll be a short video. I don't think we'll even have hammer time today. I know, no hammer time? What's up with that? We'll see what happens. I got somebody sending me a, I can't recall whether it was an email or where they reached out to me about the fact that I say today's project is, well, they went on a long rant about how it's not a project when you haven't planned for it or something like that. I mean, some ridiculous things like that. I mean, guys, really, man. Hey man, you can't say it's a project when it's not a project when you have some plan. When you don't have plan, you can't call it a project, man. I mean, God, people really don't have much to do with their lives. That they gotta sit there and worry about what I say in my videos. My goodness, man. So what? Okay, it's a pet peeve of some people. I know, I understand. I've got some pet peeves too, but it's okay. It's not the end of the world. The sun will come up tomorrow. Sun will come up tomorrow. Right now I'm singing on videos. What else am I going to do to attract crowd? Oh, the sucker's on here. These usually just come right off. Oh my goodness. Getting a good workout this morning. Alright. It'll come off, don't worry. Okay. Oh, man. Guess I should heat it up or something. Either that or I haven't had my coffee yet. No, I'm shaking. Man, oh man. All right, we got it off. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and glue all that back down. Secure the uppers to the footbed. Clean up the edges, clean up the uppers. Let's continue. You know what that reminds me of? You know when they put the popcorn on a string on Christmas time? That's what it reminds me of. All right, let's continue. You know, sometimes I just gotta shake my head. Simple jobs turn into bigger ones. I shouldn't have talked. So we've got the new sole, right? And this is the old sole where it was stitched. So in a perfect world, the new sole would come to the edge of the old sole. Yeah, but if we line that up there, it doesn't line up here. So needless to say, the sole is not deep enough, or the sidewall is not tall enough as the original was. My God, I can't believe it. Oh Lord, more work for me. So I got to figure out to put a piece of material here to line up with the old holes, and then once we put the new one, you know, come in, it'll look fairly decent, I guess. Now there are some sneakers or casual shoes that have that piece of material there. It's called a rand. The R-A-N-D goes all the way around, and then the sole is attached to it, right? We can do that. We'd have to find maybe like a navy blue or white or black or something to make it work, but we'll see what happens. All right, let's continue. I got the solution. And they don't call me a guy for nothing. All right. So that yellow line right there is representing the edge of the sole, the new sole. As you can see, the stitches are above that. So we're going to have to cover that up somehow. Now, if you look at this piece right here, there's no top stitch on it because it's stitched and folded over. That's why you have a nice finished edge like that, hemmed edge. We're going to duplicate that all the way around the shoe. How do we do that? I have some leather here, very similar color to the shoe. We cut 2 strips of it. We'll call this the rand. Okay. What we're going to do, we're going to glue the new piece right on the yellow line. And then we're going to come in. Where's the yellow line? We're going to come in and stitch it approximately 1/4 of an inch above that. And then we're going to fold this over. And what are we going to have? We're going to have a same seam to match that. That will go all the way around the shoe, just like that. And when the new sole comes on, it'll be approximately 1/4 of an inch around all the way to shoe. I'm a genius. I'm a genius. Well, look, you got to lie to yourself to believe it, right? If I can't say it, then who's going to say it? No, seriously, but I think this is about the only solution for it. Now, is it going to change the way it looks a little bit? Yeah, it'll change it, but I think if it's done tactfully, it shouldn't ruin it, or it shouldn't make it look that much different than it to look like it was part of the design. So I think it'll be okay. And the color seems to be pretty much very close to it. Once we polish the uppers, blend that in, I think it'll look much better than what it is right now. And then once it gets stitched on, and then we'll go ahead and hand stitch the sole on, and we will be done with this project. Oh, I can't call it a project. Trigger somebody. Let's continue. If you can see it here, we skived the edge here. Skiving means thinning it out, because you're going to fold that over. You don't want it to be too bulky when it's folded over. So we're merely going to line up with the yellow line, and after stitching it, we'll just kind of fold it over the edge. Anytime you have two layers folded over on top of each other, you're going to have it's going to be a little bulky. When you're folding this over like that, it's going to be too much of a bulk. So what you do is you hem the edge, so when it's folded over, it's nice and smooth and flat. Can't really tell that it was two layers. And here, where the beginning meets the end, we're going to skive it and overlap it, so you shouldn't be able to tell too much of a transition from one to the other. All right, let's continue. This is my patching machine here. Basically, we stitch up shoes and stuff like that. And these are the bobbins that go into the bobbin casing. I hate these little things because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but sometimes my hand shakes. And I always drop this. That was not intentional. I don't usually drop the bobbin case. I usually drop the bobbin. Oh, you son of a gun. I'm telling you, I hate filling these bobbins. They're always so slippery, you know? Okay. Well, we got it in. Now I just filled this bobbin, just kind of wound it up in my hand. And it does have a bobbin winder on the right side of the machine, but the whatchamacallit is bent. The shaft is bent. My shaft doesn't work. My shaft doesn't work. And it's hard to wind the bobbins when your shaft is bent. Now we're going to have to replace this top thread right here. We replace the bottom thread. Let's see, where's the light? With black. The top thread basically goes all the way up, comes around here, and comes back down. So once we have this set up, we'll get started stitching. All right, some of you may be asking why I have a tape wrapped around the foot. I also have a thin piece of leather right there. You guys can see it. The bottom of that foot has got some jagged teeth. And it marks the material, the leather, whenever we stitch it. So that's why whenever you see some people have used the patching machine to stitch things, it'll have lines on there, the mark of the foot. So I put that on there so it doesn't mark the leather. That way it looks a little cleaner. Let's continue. I've got that line right there as my guideline. That's the one I'm going to follow when I'm stitching this. So here we go. Make that stitch length a little bit smaller. Is this my favorite machine? Not really, but it's got a lot of uses. You know, we do use it a lot. You get a nice straight stitch. You know, it's really hard to because the item that you're stitching moves around a lot. This is almost like your drunken uncle at family reunions. The stitch is not always. I mean, is it impossible to stitch it straight stitch? No, it's not impossible. Most of the time, it looks like you're drunk stitching. And there she be. Let's continue. Too bad. The sun comes on. It'll look good. All right, let's continue. We sprayed it lightly with a navy blue New Life color spray dye. Okay, just kind of misted it. Now we're going to come in and give it some depth with a little bit of black. Okay, we'll do a little hammer time. Okay, that's it. Ah, almost had you. All right, we'll do a little more. Now I've got to hand stitch this on there, right? I had a thought. Since I don't have that proper machine, I do have a Blake stitched machine. That just might work. I'm going to try it before I hand stitch it because that's going to save me a lot of time. Plus my hands are a little sore this morning. That would help me greatly if I could use the machine. All right, let me give it a shot. Right, let's continue. And I sure hope this works. All right, welcome back. We got very lucky that I could stitch it with the machine. It was kind of a struggle a little bit, but you know what? It saved me like 45 minutes a shoe if I had to hand stitch it by, hand stitch it by hand. You know what I mean. I think they turned out pretty good. I think the customer will be happy. Now he's got his favorite new old pair of shoes to wear again. All right, some of you guys were asking me about these pictures in the back. Well, that's my dad when he was in his younger years. These pictures are from Lebanon, and it basically had a little shoemaking. That wasn't really a factory. It had a couple of employees, and they would make shoes from scratch. And the funny thing is that, so I'm going to zoom in to show you guys in the background, there are some pictures of women. Some of them are in bikinis, some of them are, looks like to me, naked when I zoom in, right? So I had those snap-on tool calendars that they send you. Our repair wholesalers have those calendars also. It's a bikini basically, right? So I had it in the back room, and my dad's like, son, that's not appropriate in a workshop. You got to take that down. Those are home wreckers, I'm like, Dad, it's just a calendar, and they're in the bikinis. That's not a big deal. He's like, it's not appropriate, just take it down. I'm like, damn it. Okay, so I took it down. Fast forward, when I took a picture of these, there were small black and white pictures, right? And I expanded them and made them larger, and then this is what I have. I'm looking at the picture. I'm going, what the hell is that on the wall in his workbench area? So I call him over. I go, Dad, is that your workbench? He's like, yeah, those are your coworkers, that your work area space, that, where you worked, and, you sat around that spot all the time. He says, yeah, that's where I work. I said, what's in the back of your head on the wall over there? And he looks in, he takes his glasses off and looks on, takes it off, looks over. He goes, those are different times. I said, you know what? I'm putting my calendar up. These are different times too. So I always remember that. Every time I look at that, and I caught him, I mean, everybody has posters, pictures, and we grew up with the Farrah Fawcett pictures, I'm sure some of you guys know that. Yeah, I'm showing my age. I don't care. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that story. So yeah, those are the pictures from my dad's workshop back in Lebanon. I would say maybe in the 50s. I'm guessing 50s, 60s, early 60s maybe. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed my video today. I think that they turned out pretty good. I'm happy with them. I think they'll get many years of wear out of it, and they'll be happy. So if you guys have any questions, email me, betos@yahoo.com, and I'll do my best to answer it in a timely manner. Share, comment, thumbs up, subscribe, anything you want to do to help the channel grow, we'd greatly appreciate it. All right, we'll see you guys on the next project. Take care.